Welcome to the Mentor Podcast, where the most highly motivated entrepreneurs come to get their weekly dose of financial stability with host Ron LeGrand, as well as other nationally recognized thought leaders who will teach you how to get, grow, and protect your wealth.
Well, hello, everybody. Ron LeGrand here with another episode of the Mentor Podcast, designed to help you make more money, keep more of it, retire rich, and pay less taxes along the way. Got a very special guest for you today. His name is David Lecko, and he's got an app I can't wait for him to tell you about, because if you are interested in buying and selling houses, this is a must-have for you. I was shocked when I learned about it at a recent meeting we had where we met here a month or two ago, and I'm sorry it takes this long to get this podcast out to you, but I think if you got a pencil and paper, you better get it out. And if you got anything you think is going to interrupt you in the next 30 minutes or so, put it into it right now, because you're going to want to hear David's story. David, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Let me just start it off by who are you and how did you get to the point where you're at now to be able to deliver this fabulous app to our listeners?
Of course. So I'm a real estate investor, buy and hold investor from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'm 30 years old. And about 3 years ago, in 2016, I had just gotten interested in real estate. So I'd always wanted to, quote unquote, retire early, have some passive income so that I could kind of choose my own path instead of being tied to a job. So I currently own 6 rental properties, use the app to get 4 of them. And so basically can tell you that whole story, but kind of built the app myself just to help my own real estate investing.
All right. So what's the app called?
It's called Deal Machine.
Deal Machine, right?
That's right.
So tell us, what does this app do that you built?
Sure. So, well, it helps you scale driving for dollars. And I'll break it down a little bit, because when I was getting involved, I had played these cash flow board games where it kind of teaches you how to select a good rental property. And so I knew I needed something that would rent for high enough that I could buy for a low enough price. And everything that was listed on the market, it just didn't work out as far as those numbers to cash flow. And so I went to like a local real estate meetup, and I heard about this thing called Driving for Dollars, where you go look for rundown houses, and you basically want to get in touch with the owner and see if they want to sell their house. And so I was doing that, and I had driven around Indianapolis. I had about 40 properties on a list I was writing down over the course of like 3 weeks. And I was doing this after work. And so I'd get home, and instead of looking up those properties, I would get home hungry. So I'd need to go make dinner. I might have something else to do that evening before I went to bed. And eventually I just drove by one of these houses again and saw a construction crew out there. And I was like, I think I wrote that one down. And so I did look up that property, and somebody had just bought it. And I hadn't even sent out my postcard to that owner yet, saying I wanted to buy their house. And so that's basically what Deal Machine does is it looks up the owner right when you're in front of the house, and it sends out a mail piece right when you're in front of the house. So that way I wouldn't
Hold on
forget.
a minute here. This is an app. How does it send out a mail piece?
That's funny.
I want you to remember now, you're a millennial, and I'm over twice your age, so give me a little slack here. All right. And I'm just asking you questions I know others are asking you.
That's good. So basically, it's like a Google map. If you've ever done like a GPS on your phone,
right.
It looks very similar while you're driving, except you can see the houses on there. And so when you stop in front of a house, you can just click the house you're looking at. And so at that point, it's going to tie into the county records and tell you who owns the property. Okay. And then there's a button on there where you can press start mailers. And so if you do that, the app, our company will actually send out a postcard to the owner. So not the property, the owner, wherever the owner lives, from you, the person who's using the app. And it's going to have your return address on there and everything, but our company is going to send that out for you. And it's going to be very personal, because the app lets you take a photo of the property while you're in front of it. And that photo is actually on the front and back of the postcard as well.
You got
so
to
they
be
know
kidding me.
You've actually been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very personal. So
let me start from scratch here. It's hard for me to take. All right. So I'm standing in front of this house. And frankly, it doesn't matter whether it's ugly. It could be pretty or ugly. I'm standing in front of it. And maybe it's got a for sale by owner sign in front of it, and it's a pretty house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But by the way, it don't have to be me. It could be anybody I send out in the field do the same thing, right? As long as they got the app on their phone.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
We haven't even gotten there yet. Yeah, you could have other people doing this for you.
All right. So now I stand there and I get all the information on this house, including the owner, and it'll give me the address of where the owner lives, if it's available on public record.
Correct. It'll say owner occupied or absentee owned, and it'll tell you where they live.
And so I just punch a button and it sends them a postcard.
That's right.
Oh, man, that sounds too good to be true. All right. So, all right, then what else? Okay, so now what happens after I send them the postcard? Is there a follow-up postcard or campaign?
There is. Yes. So basically at this meetup, they're talking about you've got to do this multiple times, right? And so I was like printing stuff out on my home printer, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to remember to send another one out 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later." And so I built the app for myself to do it automatically. So each postcard you can say repeat every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and do it like 10 times or 5 times, and then it all is programmed in there once you add that property to automatically follow up for you.
I'll be darned. So how many, you tell it how many hits you want? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I assume you have the hits ready where we just plug in our phone number or whatever?
Yeah. So when you're setting up when you're setting up the app, you basically kind of design your postcard. So we've got 6 postcard designs. You can edit the colors and the words. You plug in your return address and your phone number.
Okay.
And that's going to be on the postcard.
So I don't have to do anything except punch the button.
No.
All right.
No, you just punch the button when you're in front of the house.
Well, I can tell you right now, Mr. Millennial, you tapped into what us old people want to do, which is nothing if we can get away with it. All right. So I got that. Now, I know, what else does the app do first? Because I got so many questions. I don't know which to ask first. Is there anything else?
So
okay, go ahead.
You can get the phone number of the property owner.
I can. No kidding.
So you could cold call them right there on the spot. And so, you could just say like, hey, I was driving by the neighborhood and I noticed, you've got this house over here. Is this your house? And you could ask them if they're interested in getting an offer on their house while you're standing right there in front of it.
Right. Well, okay. Assuming you're capable of doing that, which is nothing more than a little training.
Yeah.
I have scripts for that anyway, for my folks that are listening, for the pretty and the ugly. All right.
Yeah.
So I can get their phone number. I got their address. I can send them a postcard. And frankly, I don't know. I might want to send them the postcard anyway, because they can hang on to it in case they do want to sell later. But if I were to call them and get them on the phone and they say, no, I don't want to sell it, go, why are you calling me, blah, 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 then save the postcard. By the way, what does it cost to send the postcards?
It costs 49 cents up to $1.50, depending on the mail piece you choose.
Yeah, they come in different sizes.
They do come. The more expensive one is actually written with a ballpoint pen. Like a robot will write the letter for you with a ballpoint pen, so it's very personal. Okay.
And what's the largest size of these postcards?
It is 4x6 is the standard postcard size. The ballpoint pen one is going to be in an invitation style envelope, like if you were invited to a wedding.
Yeah, like my yellow letters. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, the whole purpose of the yellow letters to make it look personal, and that's why it's handwritten, and that's why it's in an invitation envelope, which we tested for several years.
Gotcha. Well, yeah.
I'm sure you don't even know that. You don't even know that thing was invented in my office, do you?
I had a feeling it was invented in your office.
Yeah.
I know that you're a legend.
Yeah. Well, at least at my house. All right. All right. So tell me, is there anything else this thing will do for me?
Yeah. So if you've got your own mail system set up, like you're sending, yellow letters, you can actually export any of your data from Deal Machine and use it through that. You can send mail through your existing system if you want to. And if you've got a CRM set up like Podio or whatever CRM that you might be using,
we have one called
you can actually set it up so that your deals from Deal Machine automatically funnel into that system. So think about Deal Machine as the system that helps you scale driving for dollars. And you can send the mail through us or through something else. There's one more thing. If you've got a team out there driving, you don't want to add them to add the same properties twice. So we built a lot of the technology to actually track where each one of them has driven. So that way you can see it if they've driven on that street already, and you can actually let them see where each other's driven as well.
If
You kind of keep track of everybody.
If I were to add one and I already had it in there, would it tell me?
Yeah. So your team members can't see any of your data or your deals, but if they try to add a deal you already added, it's going to prevent them from doing that.
Oh, well, that's very nice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously this app isn't free. You want to share what it costs with us or not?
Sure. Yeah. So you can actually get a 14-day free trial, and we're going to give you $40 of free mail if you actually use this special link that I'm going to give you, which is thementorpodcast.com/deal machine.
Thementorpodcast.com/deal machine. All right. So that's going to get me a free trial of this thing.
Yep. So that's where you want to go to check it out and just basically try it all for yourself. And there is a monthly fee on that after the 14 days if you like it. It's $49 a month. And we just want to make sure you guys had this free trial and you guys get the extra free mail to try it out. Now,
that's a cheap price for what this thing does, I tell you.
Well, it can save you a lot of time, that's for sure, and save you from missing deals, so you're not forgetting to follow up. But I wanted to help set the expectation for anyone listening on how many properties you actually might need to add in order to get a deal from doing this marketing method. So, typically if you're going to buy a marketing list from online, other investors can buy that too. So you have to typically send a lot more mail to those lists to get a deal. But if you're building a list yourself with the houses that look run down and you're sending mail to those properties like you would if you're using Deal Machine, we typically see it takes at least 200 properties and mailed 3 times each. So about 600 pieces of mail in order to get a deal. So that should be much, much less than if you're sending bulk mail to like a purchase list. So I wanted to share that with everyone just so they have the right expectation on how much they need to actually use the product in order to get a result.
For that price, in fact, I think I read somewhere where you bought a house for $4,200 off that app, didn't you?
I did. It had a tarp on the roof, and it was like a 600 square foot house. And I bought it for just under $5,000 in Indianapolis. So can't do that in every market, but you can definitely get great deals in every market using this tool.
I can see that. All right. So website again is thementorpodcast.com/deal machine to get a free trial. And there they'll get all the information on the app. And there's other levels you can get above that for more people that are actually want to get more advanced or grow faster or whatever. Correct? So,
correct. Absolutely.
All the information is there. I'm not obligated to do anything to get the free trial. Is that correct?
No, you're not. Mm-mm.
All right. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to add to this? I think that's enough information where everybody needs to go get this thing and check it out for sure.
Yeah.
What else you want to tell us?
The only other thing is I would just say, plan some time to go out there and drive and find 200 properties. Mm-hmm. So you can add unlimited properties. So that's not going to cost you anything. I want you guys to be successful in it, to get out there and actually, set aside a Saturday or a Sunday. And you can find 200 distressed properties in a weekend if you set aside the time. And so I wanted to share that, reiterate that with you guys, for anyone listening, so that way you have the highest chance of being successful.
Okay, well, I'm going to again mention that this thing is very useful in the pretty house business because I got to send postcards to them and letters to them as well. We do that for any of my listeners. We already do that, but we are renting lists to do it. So honestly, literally, I could go right down the street and punch in every house down on that street if I wanted to, but I most certainly want to hit the ones with the FSBO signs in front of them. So I can see a lot of uses for this thing. And incidentally, I teach sometimes, David, you don't know this, but down in the war zones, people are kind of afraid of the war zones, but they really shouldn't be. Because think how easy they are to buy down there. Think about boarded up houses. So, who's going to buy boarded up houses? Well, not owner occupants. Investors are going to buy them, and they're usually contractors. But the good news is you can buy them so cheap, you can sell them so cheap, you can still make $10,000, $15,000 or more. And all you got to do is contact the owner. And so if we can get the owner, that becomes easy because most of them can't believe you even found them. And you'll get some deals you won't believe. I can't tell you how many houses I bought just for the taxes owed on them. I said, we don't want it. You
That's
want
right.
it? Yeah. So this thing has a lot of uses. And even in the lower income areas, which aren't exactly war zones, but very close, there's a lot of deals in there. And that's where a lot of distressed properties are as well. So, guys, if you're going to drive around looking for distressed properties, don't go to the $500,000 house areas. Go to the areas where the distressed properties are, and you won't have any trouble at all finding it. I mean, especially if they got blue tarps on the roof, huh, Dave? That's a sign.
That's a good indicator. It's definitely a good indicator, but it doesn't even need to be that obvious. It could be, the grass is too tall, or they've got some peeling paint, or it's a broken window, or
bad
mailbox is full. Bad roof. Yeah, right. Bad roof.
Yep.
Definitely all really, really good signs.
And in lower income areas, you don't have to drive very far. I mean, literally, sometimes it's every house and every other house. Sometimes the whole block needs renovated. So if that's your motive. And remember, there's wholesale, so you don't have to renovate them. All right.
Right.
Any other words of wisdoms?
Those are the. I just want to keep it simple. Keep on focusing on those FSBOs, the houses that look like they're a little bit run down, and add at least 200, and then repeat the mail at least 3 times. You can't expect a result in the first week. I mean, sometimes it happens, but it's kind of a numbers game, and it's gonna be over the course of a couple of months since you want to repeat those mailings, 2, 3, even more times.
Yep. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to spend with us today. This is really valuable information to anybody who wants to do real estate investing, including me. So we will be, in fact, I'm planning on doing a webinar with David. You guys take a look at our post now and keep an eye out for it. It might be a little while from now, but hopefully not too long, because I need to expand on this more. And I'd like to see some visuals of what you got, your postcards and that kind of thing. So appreciate you taking the time. And everybody, let's do it one more time. TheMentorPodcast.com/deal machine and get a 14-day free trial for this thing. And then you get all the information on it. And I can't imagine why you would not do that. It's free. Okay, so if you're not happy, you get all your money back. It's free. All right, so again, David, thanks for joining us. Thank everybody for listening. And also, if you want information on me, I'm not hard to find, ronlegrand.com. My book is ronsfreebook.com on real estate. So it's all right there when you get to the Mentor Podcast. Well, thank you, sir. And thank everybody for listening. We'll see you on the next Mentor Podcast.
Thank you, Ron.
That's all for this edition of the Mentor Podcast. To connect with Ron and learn how you can attain financial freedom, as well as up-to-date strategies to grow and protect your wealth based on today's discussion, go to www.connectwiththementor.com.